To survive a planet of violent extremes, dinosaurs didn't just endure, they adapted. In the Mesozoic, to be seen was to be hunted, making camouflage a matter of life and death. For most dinosaurs, life was a high-stakes race against predation, one with speed, stealth, or the safety of the herd. The great herbivores were the architects of their world, shaping the very landscape with every mouthful. At the apex of the food web, the great carnivores were the essential regulators of a brutal, balanced world. Beneath the feet of the titans, smaller dinosaurs thrived with speed and intelligence in the shadows. The rivers and swamps of the Mesozoic were not barriers, but kingdoms for specialists like Spinosaurus. The final impact was not the first great test. Resilience was the key to surviving multiple extinction events. The story of survival is written in stone, a language of healed bite marks and worn teeth. On isolated islands, evolution followed its own strange rules, where giants could become dwarves. The survival strategy of a full-grown sauropod was simple: get too big to be attacked. For the Ankylosaurus, survival meant becoming an impenetrable fortress of bone and armor. Elaborate crests and frills were instruments of communication, vital for species recognition and warning of danger. In the vast prehistoric deserts, only the hardiest dinosaurs adapted for extreme heat and drought could survive. The reign of dinosaurs extended to the ends of the earth, into the cold darkness of the polar circles. Life in the Mesozoic was interconnected, with dinosaurs likely forming complex partnerships with other species. Vast bone beds suggest epic migrations took place, as great herds followed the rains in a relentless quest to survive. The rise of flowering plants offered a new, energy-rich food source, fueling dinosaur diversification. Survival was not just about finding food, but about defending it from rivals through fierce territorial displays. Dinosaurs living near active volcanoes were the ultimate survivors of catastrophe, adapted to an unstable world. For smaller dinosaurs, safety from predators could be found by digging burrows beneath the earth. Against superpredators, there was only one true defense: the collective power of the herd. Beyond armor, dinosaurs wielded an arsenal of deadly weapons, from horns and spikes to lethal tail clubs. As the Cretaceous progressed, shifting continents and new plants forced dinosaur ecosystems to constantly adapt. 1. In times of scarcity, survival demanded the endurance to migrate vast distances or wait out the hardship. 2. Immediately after the asteroid strike, a world consumed by fire and darkness meant survival was nearly impossible. 3. Different dinosaur species coexisted by specializing in different foods, avoiding direct and deadly competition. 4. The Mesozoic was a world perceived through senses honed for life-or-death situations, a constant sensory arms race. 5. Herbivores evolved powerful jaws and complex guts to overcome the thorns, toxins, and tough fibers of ancient plants. 6. The story of the dinosaurs is not one of failure, but of over 150 million years of incredible adaptability. Every dinosaur's life, from the smallest to the most terrifying, began within the fragile shell of an egg. The choice of a nesting site was a calculated gamble, a hope for a safe harbor in a hostile world. A nest was a cradle and a fortress, ranging from a simple scrape in the dirt to a complex, self-heating mound. For weeks or months, the parents stood guard in a tireless vigil, protecting their future from predators. With a specialized egg tooth, the hatchling fought its first battle, the struggle for freedom from its mineral prison. Driven by pure instinct, the hatchling took its first breath and stumbled into a vast, dangerous world. To be born in the Mesozoic was to be born vulnerable, a tiny, defenseless target for countless predators. Fossil evidence tells a story of devoted parents, guarding their nests and feeding their hungry young. The largest dinosaurs may have adopted a strategy of numbers over nurture, leaving their young to fend for themselves. Even the mightiest predator begins life small and fragile, with its lethal instincts already awake and waiting. Feathered dinosaurs may have brooded their eggs like modern birds, using their own bodies for warmth. A nest full of eggs was a tempting prize, setting the stage for a battle between the thief and the protector. Fossilized embryos are priceless windows into a life that never began, revealing secrets of their development. Dinosaur reproduction was a game of odds. Some laid dozens of eggs, hoping just a few would survive. A hatchling's first meal was critical, whether foraged for itself or brought by a devoted parent. Males often evolved extravagant displays like larger crests or brighter colors to attract a mate. The air of the Mesozoic was likely filled with the deep, resonant calls of dinosaurs in complex courtship rituals. Like modern reptiles, the temperature of the nest may have determined the sex of the hatchlings inside. The growth from hatchling to juvenile was a rapid race for survival, a desperate attempt to outgrow predators. An adult dinosaur would stand against any threat to its young, driven by the most powerful protective instinct. Even a tiny fragment of an eggshell can reveal secrets about the mother, the nest, and the ancient environment. For aquatic dinosaurs, nesting presented a unique challenge, their strategies now lost to time. Did hatchlings call out from within their eggs, coordinating their escape into the world as one? Fossil nests with young prove that some babies remained with their parents for protection and care. An eggshell broken from the inside out is the definitive sign of a successful birth millions of years ago. Evolution is endlessly creative, and some dinosaurs may have had reproductive strategies completely alien to us. A sudden flood or wildfire could wipe out an entire nesting ground in a single, catastrophic instant. Fossils of oviraptorids died protecting their nests, a parent's ultimate sacrifice against a coming disaster. The odds were impossibly high. From a large clutch of eggs, only a few would survive to adulthood. For over 150 million years, the powerful, primal drive to reproduce ensured their long reign on Earth. The Mesozoic world was a planetary buffet of tough ferns and conifers, fuel for colossal bodies. Dinosaurs like hadrosaurs evolved incredible dental batteries to grind down rugged prehistoric vegetation. The world of a carnivore was a kitchen of opportunity, where hunting was a deadly and precise craft. The tools of a predator were terrifyingly efficient, from the bone-crushing jaws of a T-Rex to a raptor's sickle claw. In nature, nothing goes to waste. Many fearsome predators were also opportunistic scavengers. An omnivorous diet was a powerful advantage, allowing dinosaurs to eat both plants and animals to survive. A dinosaur's diet often changed as it grew, from hunting small prey as a juvenile to tackling giants as an adult. Fossilized droppings or coprolites reveal the undigested remains of a dinosaur's last meal. Some herbivores swallowed stones called gastroliths, which churned in their guts to grind tough plants. Water holes were vital centers of life, but also places of extreme danger from ambush predators. Herbivores had preferred plants, and their selective browsing actively shaped the ancient forests they inhabited. Before flowers, the world was dominated by seed plants like ginkgos and conifers, the base of the food web. A predator carefully assessed the herd, targeting the old, sick, or young to ensure a successful hunt. It is highly likely that some predators hunted in cooperative packs to take down much larger prey. A dinosaur's skull was a machine built for eating, perfectly adapted to slice, crush, or grind. The bite of a T-Rex was the most powerful of any land animal, strong enough to shatter solid bone. Herbivores evolved complex guts to neutralize the potent toxins plants used as a chemical defense. The changing seasons brought cycles of feast and famine, forcing diets to shift throughout the year. Every ecosystem is a pyramid of energy, a food chain where life is directly fueled by other life. With the arrival of flowering plants came a new, high-energy food source, primitive fruits and berries. The daily food requirement of a large dinosaur was staggering, demanding a truly colossal appetite. The Mesozoic undergrowth was the domain of small carnivores that hunted insects, lizards, and mammals. Fossilized gut contents give us a definitive look at what feathered dinosaurs like Velociraptor consumed. For many dinosaurs, especially the young, insects were a vital and abundant source of protein. A dinosaur's gut was a complex digestive factory, custom-built to process its specific diet. Different herbivores coexisted by eating different plants, a strategy that reduced direct competition. The relationship between herbivore and plant was a co-evolutionary arms race lasting millions of years. Massive blooms of algae in prehistoric lakes could have served as a surprising, nutrient-rich food source. The long snouts and conical teeth of dinosaurs like baryonyx prove they were expert anglers. A Tyrannosaurus standing over its kill was the ultimate feast at the top of the food chain. There were no grassy plains in the age of dinosaurs. Theirs was a world of ancient ferns, cycads, and conifers. Late in the Cretaceous, the first primitive grasses began their humble evolutionary journey. The idea of a dinosaur eating wheat is a complete anachronism. Grasses evolved millions of years after they vanished. For millions of years, the tough needles and woody cones of conifer trees were a dietary staple for many herbivores. Some dinosaurs evolved powerful beaks specifically to crack open and consume energy-rich seeds. The ginkgo tree is a living fossil from an age when its ancestors formed vast global forests browsed by dinosaurs. The humble horsetail could grow to the size of a tree, an abundant but abrasive food source. In the damp undergrowth, it's almost certain that some omnivorous dinosaurs supplemented their diets with fungi. The Jurassic was a garden of giants, a world filled with plants now extinct or reduced to botanical relics. To eat a giant horsetail, a dinosaur required a tough beak and a hardy digestive system. The prehistoric forest was filled with poisonous plants, forcing herbivores to learn what to avoid. Even the largest herbivores sought out the most tender and nutritious parts of a plant, like new shoots. The pressure from hungry dinosaurs drove the evolution of plant defenses like thorns and toxins. By mapping fossil plants, we can reconstruct the ancient landscape and see what was on the menu. The rise of flowering plants in the Cretaceous was a botanical revolution that changed dinosaur diets forever. No dinosaur was born a giant. Theirs was an explosive journey from a tiny hatchling to a terrifying titan. While predators lived fast and died young, the colossal sauropods may have lived for a century or more. From a single fossilized bone, paleontologists can reconstruct an animal the size of a modern blue whale. In the Mesozoic, size was everything, defining a dinosaur's role as either predator or prey. Like the rings of a tree, a dinosaur's bones record the story of its life, year by difficult year. The juvenile years were the most dangerous time, too large to hide but not yet large enough to be safe. Microscopic bone structure reveals when a dinosaur reached sexual maturity and could begin to reproduce. The size range of dinosaurs is staggering, from animals smaller than a chicken to giants over 100 feet long. The fastest-growing dinosaurs packed on thousands of pounds a year in a desperate race to outgrow predators. A dinosaur's growth rate was tied to its environment. It grew fast in times of plenty and slowly in times of famine. The dinosaur life cycle was one of epic proportions, where every stage was a fight for survival. Dinosaurs were not sluggish reptiles. They grew at rapid rates more comparable to modern birds. Predator and prey were locked in an evolutionary arms race driven primarily by increasing size. A thin slice of bone is a biological diary, showing rapid growth spurts and stress lines from hardship. The benefits of being enormous were clear, but this came with the immense cost of fueling a massive body. A giant skeleton was a feat of natural engineering, with features like hollow bones to support immense weight. Like modern humans, most dinosaurs experienced a dramatic adolescent growth spurt. The largest, slow-metabolism sauropods likely far outlived the smaller, faster-living carnivores. Eventually, even the mightiest dinosaur grew old, succumbing to disease, starvation, or on.